right, I do believe we are live.
Sweet.
So, hello out there in TV land. Hello. Before we get started, Brandon, I know you're on. I'm seeing Godzilla tonight, so keep your Godzilla questions until next week. Because I want no spoilers. Thank you. Okay. We're just waiting. Scott's got to finish his food. And then we will begin the podcast.
I'm all finished.
You're all finished?
Well, I won't finish.
Oh, gotcha. Right. I hear you. Grumble, grumble indeed.
Food.
Alright, let me get my... I want to set something up because I want to do something today.
Okay.
See if this works. I'll make it a little bit. Okay. Grumble cakes. We got grumble cakes from Chip Ferguson.
Right.
Fursden. Sorry. I just read it quick. Very small type. All right. What is Jesse Lee Keeter posting?
Why is... Oh.
Well, I'm sure it has something to do with his play, dude.
Yes. It does. He's being kind enough to ask if I want
Comps for Friday? Yeah.
reserved.
I'm going to do it, but... Okay. All right, buddy. I'm ready to go whenever you are.
That's it. Okay.
Got your questions up?
I totally blew that because we weren't recording.
Nope, we weren't, but it was worth it. I'm kind of glad we weren't.
Me too.
Grumble Stiltskin. Don't if you say his name, you got it. You got him.
No views.
I know, it's weird.
Interesting.
Whatever, but we've got plenty of people on, so
Good.
let's do this. Maybe let's do this. All right, we're about to... just kidding.
Too many windows.
Number 56.
Yes. 56.
Our 55th podcast. Now, I want to do something a little... I want to do something kind of fun. This is going to be the first podcast that we Vine the beginning of, the intro.
Okay.
So let me switch cameras real quick. All right. So we're going to Vine this intro for you listening out there.
Am I supposed to?
Yeah, get on in.
Okay.
We're two Bards,
Yes, we are.
and this is number 56, coming at you.
Right.
All right. We are Vining.
Wow.
I don't know what it means,
I don't either.
but I'm going to
Peter
do it.
apparently
Peter loves
is.
it. Connor loves it. I'm paying homage to Connor as it is his birth week.
It is. Indeed.
He will be years
His
old.
age, yes.
He will be his age, and he will be celebrate. He's already celebrated part of it, but I don't know if he wants me to give specifics, so I won't. But one day this week will be, in fact.
But it involved a little red cowboy hat.
It did involve a little red cowboy hat. He was adorable. He was so adorable, toy collectors were trying to steal him and sell him to Japanese investors.
It's a Disney reference.
That's a Pixar reference. Come on, man.
Same thing.
No, credit where credit is due.
No. It's owned by Disney. I think during the first Toy Story.
No. Yes, Pixar. I get that, but it was
John
Pixar.
Lasseter is genius.
Because what was the other? Like, wasn't Pocahontas the one coming out at that time? So we're giving credit where credit is due.
Yes.
All right. So we attended Connor's party yesterday.
We did.
On Beacon Hill. It was a lot of fun. Surprisingly packed little park.
Yeah. Wow.
Kite fly. I didn't know kites were still a thing. People flying kites. It's happening. It's a thing.
Let's go fly a kite up to the highest height.
Do not Poppins at me, buddy.
Go
Do not
fly
Poppins
a
at me.
kite
You
and
know
send
I'm afraid of Mary Poppins.
Soaring.
Up through the stratosphere, up where the air is clear. Okay, yeah, no, we're done. Okay. So,
Who says we can't do a musical?
apparently our video cast is repeating for people, which is weird. I hope it's okay. It might be a Flash issue. I know that Flash is dumb.
Repeating.
I'm assuming it's skipping back a bit for people.
Oh.
But what can you do?
Oh.
This is why you listen to it. It's better quality.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Very
how did
cool.
your week go?
My week
Wonderful.
went very well. Just a second.
Oh
I
boy.
made notes for this one.
Wow, that's a good week, buddy.
No.
Well, a well week.
Clarity of purpose.
Okay.
So my week in review. Monday.
All right, Monday.
Let's see. We had the podcast on Sunday.
We did.
And I don't think anything eventful happened other than I went to sleep.
Right.
Because I made a special secret clandestine trip to the east side of the state for an audition.
There be dragons.
There be dragons.
Wait.
No.
Meth. Oh, and flesh-eating fungus.
Yes.
In the soil. Forgot
Yes,
about that.
there is that.
We'll call that a dragon.
Yeah, and they only thought that existed in like the deep southwest.
Yeah, it's a desert. It's a desert fungus. But global warming's not real.
No.
Nope. Serpent.
And I hung out with Sean and Damon, who are working on this same project in the SPX department. Special Production Effects, I guess, is the actual title. And Tuesday,
Okay.
I ended up staying over in said locale and went back to the creature shop and hung out with them some more and actually got to see what they do, which was great.
Is it weird hanging out with your own heads?
My buddy David Nail's head
Yes.
was being used in some of the prosthetic dummies, and that was a little disconcerting.
Well, I know they took your head cast with them. They haven't made
did.
it. They haven't cast
No.
any yet, but they have your head
Yes.
in Spokane.
Yes, they've made
That's
note
creepy.
of. I ride motorcycles. They have my head cast.
Right.
I do well with prosthetics. Everyone's being very, very kind and generous and pushing me down everyone's throat. Yeah. So anyway, then I
Just
came
a
back.
spoonful of sugar helps the Scott Brown go down. Oh.
Oh wow!
Oh.
Wish I'd been on the same page.
In
with
the
that one.
most
That would've been
delightful
great.
way.
Sometimes. Then Tuesday, I hurried back to the wet side of the mountain so that we could do the Northwest Nerdcast,
Indeed, we did. And
which was
it's
a lot
done.
of fun. Yes. And I think that's when... Was I having ear issues then?
You were having ear issues. You were definitely coming... Well, so you thought at that time that it was a reaction to a cat.
Right, my allergies and such.
Right. But we learned, I'd say the next day, that you were in fact ill.
Yes.
So you were having some ear issues, a little bit of, not vertigo, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Your
Less
ears,
than stellarness.
indeed.
Yes. Wednesday, I think I slept in to try and get through some of that crap. Taught my class that evening.
Yeah.
And then went to callbacks
Ooh.
for the auditions that I had last Thursday,
Now,
which we talked about
Right.
apparently on the podcast, which I didn't necessarily mean to in a disparaging way because I didn't feel that anything disparaging about it. It's just that they got over at 1:30 in the morning.
now, what time did they get over this week?
1:30 in the morning.
All right then. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I said I was teaching class till 8:30. They said, "Oh, come in at 9." I said, "Okay." What I didn't know was it was auditions and callbacks sort of interspersed. So there were some new people there. Some names who would be familiar to our listeners, whose names I will not drop.
I would not.
because-
No, don't drop them.
No, not at all. But they were there,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
they weren't there.
Right.
Thursday, pretty much just trying to feel better, doing some web work, sleeping, watching shows.
Das Schlafen und Arbeiten is what it says over there, I think. Sleep and work? Yeah.
Sure.
I think that's right. I don't know. It's been many years since I've taken German.
I got Sprechen Sie Deutsch. That's all that I know. And someone's going to come up to me and go, yeah, and I'll go, well, I don't. Friday, I worked with Tom Brophy in the evening on a scene that he has, and showed him how much of a tenacious person I am when I feel disrespected by restaurants.
Ooh.
He went to Talarico's to get us a nice dinner.
And, I just want to say, to prep for this, like most of your Friday nights, this ends with a handful of penne.
Yes, that's
okay.
True. So he went to go get a large order of mac and cheese and a large order of vodka penne and put chicken breast on both of them so that we'd have a substantial meal. And he walked in and he said, well, they only gave me half of one of the orders. And I looked at it and said, give me the phone, even though it was my own phone. And he looked up the number, and I called, and I bitched out the manager and said, you should be, you're telling me you hand-packed our order. You should be ashamed for what left your shop, sir. And he ended up writing off half the meal.
I like vodka penne. It sounds like a classier term for whiskey dick.
Yes.
It's like, oh, we were totally hot and heavy in the back of the car, and then he got vodka penne.
It happens from time to time.
Yeah, that's a limp noodle.
Pushing it up a hill.
Oh.
And then Saturday, you and I went and had some Smarty Pants.
We did have some Smarty Pants, because Saturday is my free day.
Yep.
So on Saturday, we went
that.
Haha.
And I haven't been to Smarty Pants in a while.
We planned this. We went to Smarty Pants. You overordered. I'm not gonna lie.
I did overorder.
I overate. Not gonna lie. But I need that one day a week where I can go crazy, or I will go crazy all of the days. So
right.
I'm an addict. So I need my mescaline. No, methadone. Though I'll take mescaline.
Sure.
You know what? Maybe I should just swap addictions. Maybe instead of food, I should just start getting on the smack.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
Worked for Iggy Pop.
Courtney Love lost a lot of weight. I'm just putting that out there. So, did you say it worked for Billy Bob?
Iggy Pop.
Oh, Iggy Pop.
But
I don't want it to work
Courtney
like that.
Put it back on.
Yeah, that's true.
In a major way.
Yeah. It's called peanut butter on the street. You're not actually supposed to inject peanut butter. I don't care about Courtney Love's weight. I don't care about it at all. I don't really care.
Teeth?
Well, I don't really care about Courtney Love.
Well.
Aside from the fact that she blocked the release and the band's involvement in Kurt's affairs that they were involved in directly for so long. That's the only thing. That's the only bad thing I'll have to say about Courtney Love. I don't care about her parents or anything like that.
Named her child Francis Bean.
They named their child.
I'm pretty
Francis
sure Kurt
Bean.
had his hands tied on that one. Just
No, because he's known for really intelligible words, right?
Yeah.
No!
Live from the banks of the muddy Wishkah.
Yeah, he could have named her that.
Yeah.
All right? But, so, anyway. Where were we going with this?
After Smarty Pants.
After Smarty Pants, I was so full of sandwich.
You were so full. I came back and had a comatose moment. And then you, ahead of me, went to Connor's birthday party.
I went to Connor's birthday party.
And then I eventually showed up to Connor's birthday party.
Picking up the slack.
And then hung out for a bit, and then I went to go see a play with some friends.
Mm-hmm.
This afternoon I went to Abundance Story Playground, which is an awesome sort of free-for-all incubation workshop for screenplays, web series.
That reminds me, we were supposed to talk about something involving, I don't know if it was involving Abundant, but it was definitely involving someone involved with Abundant,
right.
And we never talked about it.
That's tomorrow, so
okay.
I don't think that's
It's not going to happen. That's not going to happen.
No.
I don't even have my camera right now, so
no,
not going to happen.
Spaced it and...
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, well, it is what it is.
Poop. And then that brings us to here where I cook dinner, and then we're doing a podcast.
Well, my week wasn't as event-filled. I skipped out on a color grading session for Dark Dungeons because I had other stuff to do. I got a weed whacker. A weed whacker.
Weed whacker.
Which...
What brand? Weed whacker.
It's called
Weed
Greenworks. Greenworks brand. Spent Thursday renovating... well, not renovating. Just doing a couple of things around the house. I took out a heater that... It's a 110 to 240 volt heater. And the wiring to it was not orange. So my interpretation is that's a 110 circuit.
Oh.
Or a 120, 120 circuit. So we wired an outlet to it. No, it was totally 240.
Nice.
The person who had wired the heater just used... He didn't code the wiring in any way.
Yeah.
So, and of course we turned it off at the main, so we didn't take the breaker out and look to make sure that both phases were attached or whatnot. My mistake, but... So, had a vacuum. Man, that thing worked really well for about 25 seconds. That thing worked harder than it has ever worked in its life for about 25 seconds. Then the smell came.
The vacuum?
The vacuum. We plugged a vacuum into that outlet. Now,
I thought it was AC in the outlet.
well, that was later.
Oh,
So,
okay.
the vacuum was already... I mean, it wasn't a new vacuum. So, we plugged it in. It started smelling really... It smelled like the belt. Because it was the belt, because the motor was going so fast, it was burning the belt. But the electrician that I had there checked one phase and ground, and sure enough, 120. Right? Because one phase and ground. But didn't check the neutral phase. It didn't check the neutral post because it's not wired. It wasn't wired orange. So,
Right.
so then we plugged in the AC to just like start it up, and it popped a fuse.
Oh, I thought your room became like a super cooler.
No, that would have been crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's when we were like, oh shit, and I checked both posts while he was under the house fixing a beam, and of course got 240, and I was like, Josh, we got a problem. So we popped the breaker out, wired it to a single phase, so it's 120 now.
Oh, good.
Yeah, and the AC is on that 20 amp breaker alone, like it should be. So everything's fine now, but oh man, what a pain in the ass.
And you didn't get bit.
Oh no, I don't.
Good.
I only get bit when I'm doing completely trivial stuff with electric.
Okay.
If I'm wiring something, I'm always very safe. If I'm, say, painting, I will occasionally reach in and grab a post like an idiot, or accidentally. That's why my dad, who's an electrician, whenever he would wire any outlets, he would always he would tape the outlets internally so that you couldn't grab the posts.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So really smart, but sometimes the apple falls way the fuck away from the tree.
Yeah.
So I did reach in and get bit across my chest once. Didn't knock me out. That 240 would have. That 240 would have put me down.
Yeah.
But the 120 was fine.
Okay.
So
Good.
anyway, that was my Thursday. The rest, of course, was just work, normal work. On Wednesday, I quit your class.
Yes.
So Scott was teaching in his acting class, and I was bailing on it. Now let me explain. Okay?
You don't have to explain.
No, I'm going to explain. So I've told you before, I think, that my department is extremely understaffed.
Once or twice, yes.
So I won't tell you the exact ratio, but I'll say take 7 and divide it by 19, and you'll have the percentage of staff we have.
Okay.
I just told you the exact ratio and the exact numbers. So we are understaffed. Wednesdays tend to be a big build night. I ended up staying at work until 7:30 on Wednesday.
Wow.
Yeah, but Erin came and grabbed me because she had something at 8 o'clock up in Capitol Hill. So we went up to Vivace at 8 o'clock, and that was cool. So
Nice.
that was Wednesday. It was pretty tame. Nothing else creative this weekend at all. I didn't do anything creative this weekend. Oh, I do have a rant though, but go ahead.
I did do something creative by myself. I edited.
Keep going.
Sammy and Bruce's wedding,
Aw.
and I brought the audio into my audio program and sweetened things and made it as good as I could from the tapes. And Mr. Aaron Buman, thank you very much for the loaning of your mini DV camera. so that I could make all of that happen.
Now, you tell them when you hand that over, this is filmed on the same camera that filmed season 1 of And At.
I will be sure to tell them that, except that, yes, it was transferred off the camera that filmed the first season of And At. That's true.
Right.
I will tell them.
Oh, it was filmed on a different camera. This was just for reading?
This was just for importing
that's fine.
The film.
Now, of course, we did denoise it as well, and that was a fun little trip.
Yeah.
So you have an ATI video card.
I do.
Okay, if you're
But not for
following,
long.
if you're following at home, and you want to get a little geeky, we're going to get a little geeky right now. So, NVIDIA has this processor subsystem. It's called CUDA, C-U-D-A, and what CUDA is it's a set of APIs at the OS level that allow things to use the GPU processor to process stuff. GPUs process information ridiculously quickly.
Right.
You can make a desktop supercomputer. This is not a joke. This is a desktop supercomputer out of 6 SLI'd NVIDIA cards. That will be your processor. There's no other processor. It's a specific motherboard, 6 SLI video cards, and you can install. There's a high performance HPC version of Windows you can put on it, or you can put Linux on it. Now, don't get me wrong. That's still an expensive freaking computer.
Yes,
but
is.
it's fast.
But it's fast.
So, having a video card that allows you to do this really, really cuts down on render time for some of these effects. Scott has an ATI.
Yep.
So tell us how long that render was going for, or told you it was going.
Well, the first one was 19 hours for 2 hours and 19 minutes worth of tape.
Wow.
That had not only the tape 1 and tape 2 with the fix on tape 2, but it had some title cards. So there were 1 second transitions.
Right.
And then I had put a series of photographs
Right.
of. This was a wedding / award, fake awards show type thing.
Right.
And so I put a bunch of pictures, because the wedding was only 10 minutes of the 2.5 hours. So I put pictures of the wedding at the end. So those all have fade transitions. And that took. We were just rendering it out.
And that was a render just so that it wasn't impossible to watch while you're editing.
Right. But with the denoiser on it.
Right.
And you're right, it didn't have any of that other shit. It was 19 hours.
Yeah.
But then, because I hadn't put the key in
Right.
at the time that we rendered it, because I was chomping at the bit to render it so that I could work with it, I had to go re-render the whole thing to get rid of the red X that was superimposed over every fucking frame.
Right.
And that took 25 hours.
Wow.
I started on an evening. It went. I could not work. I mean, I was able to work on other things the next day, but yeah, it went well past a full 24 hours.
So I want you to know that Sarah is also upset that you were in Spokane and didn't tell her. But I think you were allowed to tell anybody, really.
Which Sarah?
Sarah Brickey.
Oh, I'm sorry, Sarah. I did not tell any. There was one person in Spokane that knew that I was coming.
Aside from the people on set, obviously.
Yes, because I was staying at their house. They will remain anonymous because they're leaving me anonymous. But
now, regardless of what happens with the part, I know you swept up at the shop. Do you at least get a credit for that work on one of the shows?
I don't know. I will have to ask.
If you don't get the part, you definitely should.
If that can happen.
Yeah.
So that I can get a part. And those people, I am not saying anything out loud because I don't want to jinx anything. I am waiting to hear back on possibly the biggest callback I've ever had in my life.
Yeah.
Because this would be a game changer for me personally. I'm taking it in stride in that, hey, I made it that far.
Your life is gone.
I've made it this far.
Yeah.
I'm good with that. If I could make it to the yep, you're the guy. Trust me, I will be telling you all about it. Shitting little statues of Donald Duck and I don't know, masturbating on screen. I have
wow.
No
okay.
idea.
Well, no, let's not do that. Let's not go that far. So,
I'll be happy. Let's just say that
we do have a question. What kind of ATI card do you have? It is an older. It's an 8,000 something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
6,700.
Oh, okay, 6,700.
I think.
But what do you have behind you? Now, for those of you listening, this was supposed to be dramatic, but Scott is picking up something that's behind him. Oh, that is a twin Frozer gaming GeForce GTX 770 with 2 gigs of RAM, I believe.
2 or 4.
2 gigs of DDR5 on the card. CUDA enabled. That thing is going to fly.
Yeah, look,
comparatively,
it's a video card, and the box is bigger than my head.
Yep, and it's got a dragon on it, so you know it's fast.
Yeah.
That's the equivalent of painting a stripe on a car.
Should we talk about the 16 terabytes?
The 16 terabytes of hard drive
I
space?
learned from Andat's failures.
We all...
Misfortune, not failures.
Well,
misfortune.
I actually have some news about that. That I probably... That's something that did happen last week that I was leaning in to talk about. So we got the drive back on Monday.
Yes.
I started the copy Monday night. Aaron picked it up Tuesday.
This is the drive back that they shipped you with with what they recovered on it.
Yes, with everything they recovered, shipped back. Okay. 0 usable files.
What?
Everything they were able to recover, we already had backed up. It was from Mustache Dance and from Bartholomew. We already had it. Everything else they recovered that we were very, very hopeful for was corrupted. But the contract we signed said if they recover anything, we pay. So thank you guys again so much for helping us out, because this would have been just a double barrel to the face if this had all come out of our pockets. But it's better that we know, like, it's done. We're done now. We can move on.
Yeah.
We didn't know, and it was killing us. It was eating us out inside. Buman was up nights thinking about that drive sitting on his shelf. And so now that we know, we're done. We are just done. This is the dog got put down. We are done.
Can you re-record stuff?
Well, not exactly. No.
Oh.
So Jaime the Cruz, lives not here anymore.
Oh, okay.
I believe he lives in California now.
Mm.
So he's not available to re-record story, and it's a very big impromptu thing anyway. For the Mustache Dance, there's just no way that we can do that again. We had the Erickson Theater with a ring, like an actual.
Oh, right.
Yeah, there was an actual like wrestling ring set up. So we do have some stuff still. We're gonna see what we can piece together out of what we had, what little bit we had backed up. We're still gonna deliver something for that, but now we're going to move on and make something new and make something better and make something awesome. We're going to take to heart. There's a story about a Russian filmmaker who they sent the film. And I don't remember which film it is, but they sent a film off to processing. The entire film was ruined. He got like an eighth of the budget to finish it. And he said it's the best thing that ever happened to him, because he completely experimented, because everything that was planned was shot. So he's like, we're just gonna do something and have fun with it. And so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna deliver on all the rewards, on all the thank yous, on all the, I'm gonna be making a DVD, all that stuff's still gonna happen.
The ISO.
The ISO. We're not shipping anything.
Right.
But we're gonna be making a DVD ISO. And like I said, that's all still gonna happen. But we know where we stand, and unfortunately we stand with no data.
I'm going to back up for a minute.
Okay.
Just to make something positive out of that entire experience. Would you tell our listeners at home, and me, what an ISO is, and what you can do with that, and how easy or hard it is to do something with?
Right. So an ISO, which is a misnomer, because ISO originally stood for International Standards Organization. An ISO is an accepted image of a disc. DVD, Blu-ray, CD. You can make an ISO image of it. That ISO image is standard. Linux can read it, Mac can read it, Windows can read it. It is essentially exactly what a burned disc would look like on a physical disc. So So it's a file that you can burn to a physical disk just by double-clicking it in most operating systems, or you can mount it locally, which is just like putting it in a disk drive. So you can consume it in a number of different ways. You can physically burn it to a disk, mount it. You can, I think there's ISO management software out there where you could load it. You could rip it from the ISO. There are ISO rippers that will allow you to, essentially, I think Handbrake will take an ISO file and rip it if you want. But an ISO is the best way to flexibly deliver this file. Because
it works for everybody.
Yeah, because if you want to burn it, if you want to have a physical copy, go nuts. Bring it to a con. We'll sign it. That's great. Put it in a DVD case. What we might even make, I'm not guaranteeing it. I'm probably guaranteeing it. We might make some PDF covers so you can even print those out and put it on your DVD. That's cool. We'll do that. Or if you don't want, if you hate physical DVDs, like a lot of people, just keep the ISO around. Keep it on a drive somewhere. Share it. I don't care. And pop it in and watch it just like a movie. I think Plex even mounts ISOs.
I think so, yeah.
So you can watch it on your TV as if it were a DVD you inserted. So it's cool stuff.
Sweet. Thank you.
Yeah. That is not to be confused, of course, with the IMG file, which is the old image file, or the worst one had to be, is it GHO, the Norton Ghost backup format. Oh God, those were horrible proprietary crap.
Yeah, or the what did I say? I backed up all of my acting with accents library that I got from Harvard.
Oh, that was Nero, right? Didn't you do that to a Nero?
Not Nero. What's the other one?
Roxio?
Yes.
CD...
Proprietary Roxio, so it's an IG file.
IGs? Oh, God.
Can't do squat.
Nope.
Don't have Roxio anymore.
But you can find an IG to ISO converter, I believe.
Oh.
So we'll look at that after.
Yeah, that would save my bacon because I archived their entire CD collection of that and said, "Yep, I've got it whenever you need it." Luckily they haven't asked me for it.
Yeah. So, man, are we stuck? Looking at the video, and it looks like we may be stuck. Anyway, do we have any questions today?
We do have some questions,
do we have
statements, and such on from the Facebooks.
The Facebooks?
From the Facebooks.
Nobody's doing the Twitters.
Nope. I didn't check.
Well, I did. I looked.
Check,
and I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, let me take a look real quick too.
Oh, we're moving.
We're moving. That's good.
Okay. Just threw my hands in the air like I just don't care.
Like you cared a little bit. Oh, I should probably turn the volume down on this. Oh, it is down.
It is down.
Weird. Let's see.
Do we have questions there?
We do not have any live questions coming in right now. There was some talk about me being afraid of Mary Poppins.
It's not nice, people.
It's all
afraid
right.
of spiders. Jeez, there's a child being strangled.
Children everywhere. I did want to say when I went to Wings at Wingdome.
Yes.
I didn't tell you that. I didn't tell the audience that. I went also after, still on my free day, I decided to go to Wingdome because I love me some wings.
Mm-hmm.
And Erin got wings for the first time. She really liked them. She got the barbecue flavor. I'm a hot wing guy all the way. 4-alarm is that's my jam. I'll do 5s if I'm frisky. Someone behind us did the 7-alarm challenge.
Which is,
I want to say, it's either 5 or 7-alarm hot wings. You have to eat them in 7 minutes.
wow.
And there's no sauce. You can't have any sauce left on the plate or on your fingers or on the bone.
Novocaine my lips up and let me go.
It was. This guy was so red, crying. He did it though. He made it. He got the shirt. He got the picture.
Wow.
I've never witnessed anyone do it, and he did it.
That's amazing.
Yeah. I'm not seeing any. There are no Twitter questions. Just mainly Tom Brophy putting us out there.
Oh, excellent.
So, yeah, that's great.
Tom.
But if you guys want, remember we are at 2Bards on Twitter.
And
hashtag 2Bards Podcast. At this point, if you directly tweet to us, we will probably see it. Honestly.
Yeah.
But you can always get us your questions quickly through Twitter.
First of all, thank you, Gordon Duke, for the invitation for Andy and I to come out to the lutefisk eating contest at the 46th annual Viking Fest, which the closing day was held today in Poulsbo, Washington. I laughed and said, ha ha ha, I'm not available. I guess Andy will have to fill in for the both of us. And Gordon seems to think that I have promised that I would take part in said competition.
Oh no, I will not fucking put a lutefisk in my mouth.
Right. And so
It's
I
for
just
good
need
feelings.
someone to check the tape, please, and
Yeah.
find out if I have actually said that. I would do that because I want to honor that for Gordon because he is a kind man.
He is. He's a very kind man. Wonderful person.
But I am really hoping that there is a miscommunication somewhere, and I am not going to be hoisted upon my own petard.
This is going to be some Cool Hand Luke level puking.
And there's only 12 people allowed, 10 or 12 entrants, because I looked at the PDF, and it's a $10 entry fee,
Uh-huh.
and it's a limited number of seats.
Wow.
So it's on a stage with set.
Yep.
And I'm gonna, I'll get one, and then it's gonna be Stand By Me.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
You're going to be lard ass.
Of Ludacris.
That's awesome. So I want to bring up really quickly, we did get a couple of questions come in, or a couple of statements at least. So Michael Purdue says mounting an ISO in Plex would be a bad idea. 90% of people using Plex stream through a Roku. What you stream through has no bearing on it. All of the Plex encoding happens on your PC. So depending on your PC, that would depend the kind of stream you got out to the Roku. Now, keep in mind, a DVD stream is only 480p. So streaming to a Roku, it would peg your processor on your PC, guaranteed. But the fact that it's a Roku or a TV shouldn't matter at all. In fact, if you go into Plex, you can choose from the drop-down to make my PC hurt.
Yes.
And that is a great, if you've got a powerful system, that's a great setting because stuff looks really good.
Yeah, we put that on mine.
Yeah. It's also a great way to upscale 720p content to 1080p if you are streaming through, say, a hacked Apple TV or a Fire TV or a Roku or anything like that, or a Chromecast. It'll upscale to 1080p if you set that up. It's pretty nice. Brandon says, any upcoming projects you'd like to announce?
Haddix?
Brandon Haddix.
Okay.
The Had. Well, we've already announced Freedom, which was his Star Trek piece. We've talked about glass cannons many times, but have not moved on it. And at this point, that is mostly on me. There is one project that I definitely want to talk about. I think we briefly talked about it last time. It is the Kentucky Blue Clay point-and-click adventure game. We're talking LucasArts style point-and-click adventure starring Kentucky Blue Clay. Jimmy McMichael he just has such a wonderful vision for the intro. I am super excited. Think of it more like Sam and Max Hit the Road. If you've ever played Sam and Max Hit the Road. I need to get all of these to you because you need to play these.
I kind of looked at Monkey Island.
Monkey Island's great. And Monkey Island 1 and 2 are seriously two of my favorite games. And when I say favorite, I mean Monkey Island 2 is number 1, Monkey Island 1 is number 3 or 4. But Sam and Max Hit the Road is a completely different kind of funny. And it's much more the Kentucky, because it's collecting, in Sam and Max, they collect a lot of like national treasures from parks and stuff like that. This is, of course, time travel. Very, very good premise for this type of game. And Jimmy's just killing it. We've got Rival Guy who's working with us, Mike Ott. Just tons of people are already on board to look at this thing. So we are hopeful to start production on this, like to start work on it, coding and whatnot, very soon. And we will probably, Two Bards will very likely be the recording studio for voice for that.
Can I do the voice of Kentucky Blue Clay?
Well, we'll find out. There's no reason Brian has to, right? But we've already got, there's a lot of room for voices. I'm going to be doing one, I'll tell you that much.
No, I could never take that away from Brian.
But yeah, that's...
But I could.
Oh, Michael Purdue now says if you stream from the Xbox for Plex, the Xbox does your encoding. I would never stream from an Xbox. I always stream from my big machine. My what is it? 12-core i7. Well, sorry, it's 6-core with hyper-threading, i7, 64 gigs of RAM. That's the machine that does my Plex encoding.
Yes.
So, yes, if you're streaming from an Xbox, an ISO is a terrible idea.
Which one do I have?
Which one do you have?
I have an i7.
You have an i7, yeah.
You have 8?
Yours is 4-core. Yours is 4-core hyper-threaded. So eight logical cores.
Okay.
Yeah.
And 64 gig of RAM.
Yeah, 64 gigs of RAM. All right, let's keep moving.
That's larger than my first hard drive.
It's true. My first hard drive was like 120 megs. So.
Yeah.
And my first computer didn't have a hard drive. I had to put one in.
Speaking of 120 megs first hard drives,
oh boy, we're doing stuff. What are we doing?
It's Once Upon a Time in the 1970s.
Yes.
With 25 hours to go, hit their funding.
Woo!
Which was, I can't even fathom what it was for season 2. $8,000. It was some ridiculous amount. But they made it. And the thing I love about these guys is it's all, I mean, they're not an effects warehouse, but they do great green screen.
Yes.
And wonderful little thing. They have a vacuum tube spider. Everything is dirt type technology. But you can get their earlier season or some of their movies in a 5 1/4 floppy drive folder. And it's just...
Oh, and
love their sensibility.
Since we're talking about those kinds of web series, I do want to bring up Steve Snowy, who was across from us at Emerald City Comic Con.
Right.
Has a little web series called Dinosaurs in America.
Yes.
Really cool effects. They did it all. Steve did it all himself in terms of the effects, but a bunch of people came together and worked on it. And it made the front page of Reddit last week.
That was the T-Rex.
Yeah, the T-Rex in World War II. They labeled it World War I, and were immediately smacked. They didn't post this, by the way. Right. This was someone else who grabbed it from the internet and made a GIF and posted it. And the person who posted it incorrectly said World War I, at which point the internet destroyed them.
Yes.
There were no Jeeps in World War I. They just went nuts. The footage was obviously World War II, and we're like, yeah, it was World War II. We never said it was World War I. Like the show doesn't say World War I. It says World War II. It is dinosaurs fighting Nazis. This is life.
Yeah.
So it was pretty funny to watch though. Like somewhere around 7,000 upvotes or so last I checked.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Front page of Reddit.
Dennis Nickel writes. And thank you guys for you, Paula, Laura, everyone who writes in consistently. It's great having questions. I'm not sure I like where this is going, but Dennis says, so, you guys eat a lot.
Yeah, Dennis is a prick, and I can't wait till he hears this. Prick.
And drink a lot, too.
Well, okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
You got us there. Dennis,
During
you got
the
us there.
podcast, much to Mike Ott's chagrin, I'm sure.
Indeed.
Oh, speaking
of... Now, I want you to know, I don't eat during the podcast, and I drank once because I was...
That's a tasty, caffeine-free, zero-calorie Diet Coca-Cola that I'm reduced to drink these days.
What are you, Scott
it's not
Pilgrim?
Even sugar water. Plus, to get back to what Dennis was saying, you are both awesome at describing all the great places and detailing all the excellent foods you've encountered during your travels. Well, we do our best. Can you review a place or two each week in effort to find your Bardketeers the best places to eat around here?
Well, the only place we have this week is Smarty Pants.
Yes.
Which I will review. We can totally review that.
We totally can.
So, Smarty Pants is a sandwich shop through and through.
Bar.
Well, it's... I've never seen anyone do more than drink either a Bloody Mary or a beer there.
Oh, you haven't been there as late as I have.
No. But during the day, it's a sandwich place, and we're talking about food. And if
I also said drink.
Yeah, I know. I realize that your Scottish roots do mean...
I'm so sorry for my nasal.
They do mean whiskey is a food. It's a meal.
It is.
It is the liquor that drinks like a meal. So thick you need a fork. That's the peatiness.
That's the peatiness, yes.
So we did go to Smarty Pants. I have been there a number of times. Their sandwiches never disappoint.
No.
I've never been disappointed by anything I've gotten there. For me, the fatty de resistance is the enchilada soup.
Oh,
They do a chicken enchilada soup from scratch, and the dude who runs the place is awesome. And he is super proud of this soup. This soup runs out because they make it for Friday and Saturday on Friday. And usually by Saturday morning it's run out. Now, we lucked out, got in early enough to where there was still some left. But my guess is shortly after we left, it was gone. They also do really good chili.
Yeah.
But their breakfast sandwiches are substantial. This is not a place you go when you're not hungry.
No.
This isn't a peck and peel, and this isn't a place for a nibble.
No.
This is a place for...
And it's a place to trust
food.
what it says on the menu and order one entree. As opposed to two.
Yeah, well, that's dumb. That's just dumb.
So the sandwich that I got, which is on sort of a really nice hot toasted French roll, was basically a eggs Benedict.
Yeah,
It
it's
was
the hustler.
3 poached eggs with hollandaise sauce and ham sandwiched in between 2 glorious... And they don't... It's not 2 halves. They slice...
A French roll, yeah.
And then set it in so that at least part of your hands aren't scalded by the yolk that comes streaming out after the first bite.
It's so good.
And then allow the hash browns to soak that up.
Yeah.
It's just a meal that keeps on giving.
It is a great place. It's wonderful.
Yeah. Less than $10 for a sandwich. And
we got 3 meals and a soup, and I got a drink, and it was $30.
Yeah.
How much was your handful of penne? Originally.
Originally, the handful of penne and mac and cheese was $33.
Yeah. So go to Smarty Pants.
Yes.
Very good place. I know that certain people from a certain local band do go there.
Do they?
They do, in fact. Well, at the very least,
studios
they right down there. Yeah. Also around the corner, if you get a chance, there's Georgetown Records, which is a pretty cool place.
Yep.
Fantagraphics, which is an awesome comic book printer. And around the corner still is a little coffee shop that's really awesome too. And then there's
That's where we had the first web series.
that was the pizza place across from the coffee shop.
Okay.
Velo Pizza, something like that?
Yes, I think so. It's
really,
all in Georgetown.
It's all in Georgetown. It's all on the same block.
Yep.
Really good stuff, though. Highly recommended. Smarty Pants is a goo.
It is. And we had often talked about doing reviews as a separate podcast.
So, yeah,
because of places we've gone to, like Triple X Burger.
Oh, God. Hey, there's a new burger place opening up near my... I don't know if it's new or if it's already open or not, but it's Burger Boss, or Boss Burger.
What?
Yeah, it's like right down the street from me. So I want to go there. Maybe we'll do that next weekend.
From home or from work?
From home.
So it's right down the street from me,
Well,
too.
yeah, I guess it's right down the street from us, yes.
Sweet.
It's right before you get to White Center on Delridge.
Oh, and then we'll have to do Zips.
Yeah, we'll have to do Zippies.
Zippies.
Not Zips. Zips is on the east side.
That's right.
And it is wonderful.
Right.
Zippies.
I almost got Sean and Damon to go to Brucci's, which, you're not going to believe this, brand new storefront.
What?
On the corner.
What?
Corner exposure. Huge Brucci's. Where were we? Franklin, Hamilton. Hamilton, where the Safeway is, on the east side east of Gonzaga.
Gotcha.
I think that's Hamilton that's running up in
Okay.
because I drove past it on the way to the Safeway thinking I'm going to have to text Amy to find out where Brucci's is. And it's right next to Wolfie's Burger.
Okay, gotcha.
Wolfie's Burger and 1 block south.
Brucci's.
Yeah, that'd be south.
Yeah.
It's Brucci's great sandwich shop.
Now, real quick aside, Michael Purdue is asking why you haven't read a script.
It's on the list.
It's on the list.
Have you listened to what I've been doing lately? In fact, I just told someone today, after About His Story Playground, that I need to read some scripts, one of which is his short script, and I was meaning specifically yours, Mr. Purdue. So it is not gone by the wayside. I have to leave here at 5:30 in the morning to be on set in North Seattle for a 6:15 call.
Jeez.
And the crew doesn't even show up till 7. Okay, I'm just saying, I'm there before the crew. I don't understand it.
Well, you need to have a knife wound, so they're just going to get you out there and get stabbed.
Right,
Before
because
the
it's on
crew.
Aurora.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, okay, right.
That's what I'm saying.
Then they can stabilize me, then they can get on set.
I know what's up. I know how to save money. So, yes, Dennis, I think that my free day will now also involve going to new places.
Yes.
We should do Meanders, because
Oh,
we can review that right
I
now.
can review that
Oh, my
right
God,
now.
it's so good.
If you're lucky enough to get in for breakfast.
Go on a weekday, and you'll be fine.
So, yeah. Dennis also asks, what was for dinner this evening? Let's hear the review.
I think that was. I think that's his lead-in from his question, and it's going to be really boring for me this evening because I had chicken and quinoa.
Oddly enough, this is chicken and quinoa as well.
We had chicken and quinoa, Dennis.
However,
But you've got some spinach in there.
mine is bacon wrapped
Is that mushroom? That's mushroom.
stuffed chicken breast
Uh-huh.
from the QFC.
Okay.
I then made a salad, a baby green salad,
Right.
a little bit of blue cheese,
Mhm.
and the cremini mushrooms.
Oh, cremini.
And then I had my own topper that I make with dried cranberries, dried raisins. No, raisins are already dried. Dried cranberries, raisins, sunflower seeds, and slivered almonds.
Okay.
Put that on top, and then the quinoa. Mixed all that together, dumped in the chicken, sliced it up inside, and now I have a, what do they call that when you do the spinach on the skillet and the...
Wilting it?
It's
Yeah.
like a wilted salad, chicken and quinoa.
It's wilted. It
And it
sleeps with 20,000 women over the course of its career. That's how you wilt the spinach. Wilt Chamberlain's Wiener Wonder. Women, do you need a wonderful wiener? Try Wilt's Wiener Wonder in your kitchen. Oh boy. What we got? Oh.
I knew that I had something here from them. That's Abe Lincoln Vampire Killer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or Hunter? I don't. Yeah.
Vampire. Yes,
Vampire Hunter.
that's from the same people who bring you somewhere back in the 1970s.
Right.
I looked through the portal of the
Right.
Jules Verne 1970s.
So that's we will in fact do that. Let's start
Yes.
reviewing some stuff.
Okay.
So Paula Moran asks,
Sorry.
in your travels, what are some of the best and worst motel experiences you've had? Motel experience. We're classy. I've had some terrible motel experiences, but why don't you go first? Oh, unless you're going to die.
I might die.
Okay.
I'll have to think about it, but when I first read that, the first thing that went through my mind was, as a small child, we would often go down to California for spring break. Now, my parents took the time to go to Simi, Napa, and Sonoma Wine Country. But then we would get to go to, like, Marriott's Great America.
Right.
That was our payoff. So,
Right.
And we would drive because we didn't have a lot of money. So we'd just drive down there, and we'd meander. Then we'd hit the big time, and then we'd come back. And we went into a hotel. I remember the entire experience. Until they came out with that succubus of a sandwich at QFC, which is 2 chicken breast pieces of bacon and 2 Swiss cheese.
That'd be KFC.
KFC.
And that'd be the double down.
The double down, that's right. Prior to that, I had not eaten since this childhood memory. We checked into some hotel. I remember it had a turquoise lamp. And we came in, and Dad closed the door, and there was a huge hole in the door where someone had obviously put something through it.
Wow.
But they'd fixed the front of it so that it still looked secure. And then, Dad's like, okay, we'll just make the best of it. We walk down to the sketchy KFC, get dinner, and leave because my dad's like, I can't identify what part of the bird this is from. It's gray.
Yeah.
And it's not right. And so we walked out. So that comes to mind as my worst
Right.
hotel motel, and that would be a motel.
Yeah, so I've got
experience.
a couple. It's no secret that I grew up really freaking poor, and my mother thought she could run away from any problem. So we spent a lot of time living in motels.
Oh.
One time, after a really severe bout of family drama, it involved essentially a kidnapping of a ward of one of the other family members that was due to disagreement about the will of my grandmother, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Anyway,
Wow.
we ended up living in a motel on Sprague in Spokane for about 3 months.
Okay.
Using the motel's mismatched flatware and dishes and whatnot, watching a 13-inch black and white TV, all sleeping in one giant room, essentially. And that was a pretty terrible 3 months.
Yeah.
But it still pales in comparison to the time I broke down. I was traveling with my family, my wife at the time, my 2 children, and we broke down in the wonderful, wonderful town of Yakima, Washington, the Palm Springs of Washington. It is not that thing. The old people do go there to die. That's as close as it gets to being a Palm Springs of anything. So it was late. We didn't have a ton of money on us. So we stayed at this place called a Red Apple Motel. Now,
I'm familiar with the Red Apple grocery store chain.
they didn't have hourly rates, so we thought we were safe. Okay, the front door had what can only be described as a bathroom stall gap at the bottom. Okay, you could see outside clearly under the door. The sheets would have illuminated the entire state were we to shine a black light on them. The TV had one channel. Luckily, it was Nickelodeon. There was a lovely, lovely crackhead, and I'm only assuming some type of smack whore, arguing all night next door to us. We don't know if they were fleas or bed bugs or what, but it had some type of parasite. There were stains on the ceiling. Now, I'm assuming they were water stains, like leak stains. They could, maybe there's a body up there. I don't know. So we were there for, I think, an hour and a half before we were like, fuck this, and we went to Doubletree. A little bit of an upgrade.
Yeah.
So while our van was getting repaired, we hauled ass to Doubletree. The thing is, we didn't have any way to get anywhere, so we got dropped off by the person picking up the van at this Red Apple. So we called a cab and ended up going to Doubletree, which this was just the skeeviest place I have ever been. And I think we paid for the whole night, which was like 25 cents or something. It was terrible.
You'll come for the night. You'll only need 1.5 minutes.
Exactly.
Oh.
The magic fingers on the bed just flipped us off.
I can tell a story that I'll have to... This is my rock star moment in a hotel. So when I do shows at Harlequin in Olympia, Washington, they put us up at the Governor Hotel for some evenings so that we don't have to drive back to Seattle to turn around and drive back down. So Friday nights and Saturday nights, they usually put us up there. And that's part of our gig. Now, the Governor, when I started going there, was a nice hotel. It's about a 8-story, single wide hotel. So it's not a large complex. It's right downtown next to a park. You can see the Capitol building. They have an outdoor pool. Ooh. You know, it's nice. Right. But it's not, I mean, it's been around for a while.
Understood.
So we are doing a show. And it happens to be my birthday during the run of this show. And I'm not sure if I've told this story or not, but it has to do with hotel rooms. So I said I would like to have a small cast party here afterwards. I know that you guys have some suites. So they took 2 adjoining rooms and made one more of a work area and one the bedroom. And they said, you know what? You're always in here. You're nice folk. We're just going to, happy birthday. Yeah. We're going to upgrade you for the night. And I was like, wow, thank you very much. So I had the cast over and some select people, and things were going as they do with a theater party. Late. And drunk.
And sweaty.
And probably.
A little sticky.
we're getting there.
Okay.
So, a member of the cast, I'm going to keep this gender neutral to protect as many of the non-innocent people as I can. There's 2 rooms. Mm-hmm. So there's the one with the beds in it and the bathroom, and then there's the sort of kitchenette, living room area. Regardless that I have these 2 huge rooms, the entire party is taking place at the dinette table in the kitchen, like it does in every other party.
Right.
And so someone says, they're going to go use the bathroom, and they do. And everybody's talking, and in about 10 seconds, said person who was going into the other room comes bouncing back into the kitchen and hurls into the kitchen sink.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, wow, okay, well, we'll take care of that later. Someone else then goes to the bathroom and says, Scott, you have a problem. So I go into the bathroom, and the tank that the water holds in for when you flush to go down back into the bowl.
You can just say the toilet tank. We know
toilet tank
yeah.
has cracked and fallen down and exploded. So there is water all over the floor.
And still coming out of the toilet.
And still coming out of the toilet because the plunger's not down. So, and I noticed this before I get there because the carpet's starting to get wet.
Oh, God. This is a horrible story.
So I turn this off, and I have to go downstairs and go, hey, remember when I said it wasn't going to be like a rock star party where we're going to break shit? The toilet just broke. And so they gave us a key to the room across the way to have so that we could still use the bathroom. We got everything cleaned up. We got the person cleaned up. We got the person put into bed. They ended up staying since I had 2 beds. We let them in there. The next morning, they tried to tell me that I had broken the toilet and I was going to be on the hook for it. We were all quiet to this particular cast member and not telling them what was going on. Needless to say, I came out at the end not having to pay.
Okay.
But because of that evening, there's a new policy with the hotel, or maybe just with the theater. There are no room parties other than those assigned in the rooms.
Right.
Anymore.
Right.
And it wasn't my fault. But this last show that I did, Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, was the first time I'd heard about the new policy. And then found out it was all to me a year and a half ago. But I walked into the governor this year. It's under new management, and they are renovating everything.
Oh, good.
And it was literally like walking into the Gen Con Westin.
Ooh, nice.
I thought I was in the wrong hotel.
Wow, that's amazing.
It is amazing.
Wow.
And I think I stayed
wow.
in that room.
That's awesome.
Over the course of the month.
That's awesome.
I'm pretty sure that I stayed in the same room that I helped facilitate a new toilet being put in.
Okay. Quick answer, Brandon, who's watching live. Yes, I broke down in Yakima a separate time than when you and I were doing the drive. There we go.
You've broken down twice in Yakima?
It's a terrible place to break down. But yeah. Once the
you
van.
Shouldn't go there anymore.
No, once we had a van and it overheated because the timing was off by 15 degrees, which is a lot. Apparently,
yeah, it is.
It was so hot. The manifold was so hot that it was glowing almost white. Yeah, the cowl was like hot to the touch. We got it readjusted because I think it was supposed to be tapped dead center. It was actually 15 degrees off. So someone had read the wrong manual when they tuned the thing up, which I don't even know how the thing ran.
Yeah,
but it was throwing raw fuel essentially into the cylinders, and it was getting very hot. So we got that fixed, and then it ran like a champ. But we were in Yakima for like 2 days. Yeah. It sucked.
Sorry to go on that long rant.
It's fine.
That was
the cough was what
huge.
killed me.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Laura Adams writes,
Mm-hmm.
do you remember where you were and what you were doing on May 18th, 1980?
I remember very distinctly, if this is the day I'm thinking of, playing outdoors. It was Boise, Idaho. It was raining a little bit. And then it started to look like it was snowing. in May. And I got pulled inside, and we stayed inside for like quite a while because Mount St. Helens had erupted and was dropping ash everywhere. And I believe that is the date I'm thinking of.
It is.
Okay, then yes, I do very well remember that day. It was one of those, I remember, so I was at my grandmother's house. It's in Boise, Idaho, Garden City to be precise, on 34th Street if you want to go drive by it.
Grandma.
Well, she's dead. My grandma's ghost. So, her yard, fenced-in yard, it had these weird, like evergreen shrubs that had these weird blue berries on them that looked like little horns.
Oh, I was going to say red.
Or little crowns. They were like little horns.
Okay, yeah.
It was a flat-leafed green, evergreen shrub, and it had these little, and when they dried, they turned into these little horrible brown, sharp things that looked like...
Juniper?
Sure. I don't know what it is.
Okay.
But let's go with that. Let's go with juniper. I'll have to look it up, but probably. Anyway, so I was out playing, got pulled in, and then I sat at this... We had the screen door open because apparently Ash can't get through a screen door. They were stupid people. And I was squirting... I had a squirt gun, and I was squirting at the stuff that would pile up on the screen door. So even in Boise, Idaho, we got quite a bit of fallout from that.
Yeah,
I think we didn't go to school for like 3 or 4 days because it was in the wind path. And if you know much about the Boise area, the Treasure Valley, it's a huge inversion zone. So when stuff drops there, it just stays. So we had a very muggy... It was terrible.
So you were like 3?
I was, at that time, 4. Wait. Yeah, 4.
4. You were going to be 5 in November.
I was going to be 5 in November. Nope, you're right. I was going to be 4 in November.
Okay.
Duh, you are correct.
Okay.
I was going to be 4 in November, so it was 3, yeah.
I was in Albany, Oregon
Oh.
at a Boy Scout camporee, which is like a jamboree, but not. And we heard about it on the radio. And I remember getting, and that, I believe it was a Sunday, because I believe it was a travel day to go back home. There was an award ceremony. It went out over the PA, the whole 9 yards. Could have been a Saturday, but I think it was a Sunday. And we got home, and I remember listening to my mom and sister talk about their experience, which was mom out weeding in the backyard, and my sister running out going, Mount St. Helens exploded, and mom saying, no, it didn't. Where are you hearing this? And, it's on the news. And went in and found out that, yes, half of a mountain exploded and started spewing ash everywhere.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy for a while, and then I remember
Christian was in Packwood. When it
Oh,
exploded.
wow! And he would have been 3 or 4 as well at the time.
Right in the path.
Wow! It was a substantial amount of ash even in Boise, Idaho.
Yeah.
Substantial amount. So, that's impressive. I remember the sky being just really dark gray for a long time. And I'm assuming that the rain had come from the head of that hot air. So that's probably why it was raining before that, because this isn't a very wet, well, just Boise's not a very wet place. But I remember running around in the rain right before it happened. So that was interesting.
And the dermatologist that my mother worked for at the time, Dr. Curry, was with the Air National Guard. And he got called out and took, I still have one somewhere, little glass vial jars. Not the kind with the cork top, but with the snap plastic.
Right.
About yay tall. Yay being about 1 inch tall. And he had those filled up and brought them and labeled them and put the plastic over it. So I have a bottle of Mount St. Helens ash.
Yeah.
Which
That's awesome.
It's
kind of cool.
Cool.
Yeah. We have lost our comment stream, which is interesting. But whatever. We will just keep going. So yeah, I think that what happened there, that's not good. I don't want that. Blind Guardian. Apparently we're watching Blind Guardian now. I'm just going to watch YouTube videos. This will be fun. There we go.
Yay, we're back.
So yeah, and I remember also So I'd been in Spokane, and then I was in Blackfoot, Idaho, because my mom was trying to run away from something. We were only there for 3 months, and I was pretty routinely abused by the family we were staying with. I got the shit kicked out of me, but it's fine. He was horrible, and Anyway, so we were there for 3 months, and that was during the Hanford accident.
Awesome.
Yeah, but Blackfoot was fairly out of the downwind range, and then we went back up to Spokane while it was still, going on. And Spokane's out of the downwind area. But I remember that being extremely scary. That was also during a time, there was a threat, I believe, a potential nuclear threat from Russia at that point. That was, they were mobilizing, I want to say, again, like toward Alaska or something like that.
Right.
So I remember just being fucking scared for most of my childhood.
This was pre-Reagan. Go to town, tear that whole town. That's the worst George Bush ever.
Oh boy, yeah, that was...
Nancy, I can't go with that. I used to be able to do it.
Put your mouth on my jelly beans. Right? That's what Reagan would say?
I think so. He was the Jelly Bean King.
He was the Jelly Bean King. He...
Not to be confused with Billie Jean King.
No. Who also was not Michael Jackson's lover.
No.
Though you have heard that Michael Jackson's potential kid, who was the subject of Billie Jean, has been in the news lately because Joe Jackson claims, I don't know, there's like this whole thing going on, but it's potential that Joe Jackson's actually his father. Not Michael, but the kid sounds just like Michael. Dude's a dude now.
Yeah.
But he sounds just like Michael. It's fucked up. Anyway, so that's my week, man. That's what I got.
Yeah, me too.
I guess we can cap it. So Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Are
there are no more questions. No.
Okay,
yeah.
No more.
Yeah.
Very inactive. More of a what do I want to say?
Observational, passive yeah.
Audience tonight. Thank you.
Yeah, that was good. We needed
giving
that.
us room to spread our wings.
And Brandon and I will go see. I promise you, I'm going to go see Godzilla tonight in the Fancy Theater. Woo.
Oh, you're going to Fancy?
Hell
you're
yeah,
killing me.
I know.
Maybe I'll just stay up. Maybe I'll go see Godzilla.
Gojira? Dude, you'll be staying up the whole time. You
Right.
will not be going to bed.
I know.
Okay, I mean, it's your call. I don't know if there are any tickets left, but...
Oh. Well, maybe we should look at that before. Maybe I shouldn't invite myself on your date with Aaron. Maybe I'm going to go... Brandon, I'm going to go see Godzilla another time.
There we go.
Maybe
That's
Tuesday with Tom Brophy.
Tuesday with Tom Brophy, who is the second biggest Godzilla nut I know after Brandon Haddix, who has a picture of himself standing next to the full-size Godzilla toy. Well, not full-size, obviously, but the large-size Godzilla toy. It is almost as tall as him. And it is back in 1979, I think.
Wow.
Dude is a lifer for Godzilla. So, I'm very excited to go see this. So, Neil deGrasse Tyson, if you're Godzilla...
And listening.
If you're listening to Godzilla...
Please don't kill Mothra.
Please... Well... kill those weird, space women that were flying around with Mothra, because that song sucks.
With the high pitch?
Yeah. Hate that song.
Rodan.
Motsura, yeah, Motsura. Do they want cheese on their pizza? What are they asking for?
I don't know.
Mothra, I know what it means.
Mazithra.
Mazithra, yeah. Neil, just come on our show. Just come on,
please.
Come on, buddy. Come on.
We're begging.
We won't treat you bad. I've been listening to Star Talk. Come on. I love you.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, folks, so much. Oh, apparently, so you're getting booted off or getting 500 errors because you are likely on Comcast. Comcast is actively throttling YouTube now, if you're wondering. So go out, sign those petitions, call your representative, and tell them straight up. And this is not a joke. Find your representative's number, call them, and tell them that you think net neutrality is something that needs to be protected.
Yes.
Because essentially, if they don't think they're going to get fired if they fuck this up, they have no incentive not to fuck this up. because they're going to get paid by Comcast, and we can't pay them, but we can get them fired. So, and if they do fuck it up, don't vote for them again. So, anyway, that was my little Comcast rant for the evening.
Me too.
The opposite of fast, I guess is what I'll call it from now. I just love that whole slow lane, fast lane bullshit. Because if you know anything about networking, you know that they are full of shit.
Mm-hmm.
They are so stuffed full of donkey dick that it is coming out of their face.
And thank you, Mayor.
Fucktard.
Whatever your fucking name is.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to say. Fuckknuckle. That's the one.
Fuckknuckle.
Mayor Fuckknuckle.
Okay.
We learned that. So to avoid saying the pejorative with tard at the end, you say fuckknuckle. Because you need something with that, like, punch, but you don't want to insinuate.
That was my favorite thing that had nothing to do with being.
But, dude, fuckknuckle's pretty good. Fuckknuckle's pretty good.
But, yeah, man.
Anyway, our mayor's a fuckknuckle who was bought and paid for by Comcast.
Yeah, who killed Gigabit coming here.
Killed Gigabit. Google, you can still save us. Out of the 9 people watching, I don't think Google is.
No.
All right, bye, guys. Thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next week.
See you next week.